Learn more about the DOM, and now let's apply it to a project. And today we're going to apply it to a project that I like to call a text editor. And you can call it like a Google Doc, but obviously it's a lot more simpler than a Google Doc. So let's look at what we are going to make. So it's really simple, really simple. If you look at this text editor, this website, all you would do is, for example, when you type into a certain text, obviously it copies the text to the right hand side. You can add this and so forth, you can remove it and so forth. But at the same time, what you can do is you can format it. So you can make it bold, you can make it like italic, right? Or you can make it even fancier with underline, right? So you can do all the triple fancy stuff. But you can also center it, you can also right align it, and so forth. And you can see as I'm clicking on these buttons, they're becoming active and inactive as I click out of them. So it's pretty cool what you can do with it, and there's a lot of functionality packed into not so much code actually. So let's look into how we start this out. So remember, we have the solution link down below, and we have the exercise link down below. You want to go ahead and go to the exercise link, which looks like this, and it has a lot of greenery for hints and to-dos. So go ahead and you can either use an in-repo.it, or you can, and I highly recommend this, go ahead and download it as a zip and then use it in VS Code as you did before. Okay. So once you've done that, let me close out the solution. We don't need this right now. Once we've done that, go ahead and go to VS Code, and we're going to go ahead and we're gonna write copy path just how we do it all the time. We're gonna copy path, and we're going to paste in here. I already have it pasted, and then right away enter. Now, obviously the exercise link is pretty, the exercise link has no functionality, so you can't really do anything. Right away, I want to bring out three files. We have the index.html, and inside here you have a lot of buttons, a bunch of buttons galore. You also have the text area, right, which represents this, and it has a unique ID. You also have the text output, which is this gray box right here. That's where the text output is. That's index.html, and that's gonna be the most important part that we're gonna focus on. Then you have the style, and in the style of CSS, don't look so much at this, but look at more here, because we're going to use these classes then to style this formatted text. Okay, and now the script.js, that is the meat of the bones, that is the logic, that is the heart, that is the engine. Okay, right away in here we have a lot of functions that we need to cover and a lot of functionality to add. So with that being said, I'm right away going to start with to-do number 1, and that is update the text in the formatted text section as a user types in the text area. So again, as users typing here, it should be able to show here as we had in the solution. So with that being said, I'm gonna give you a few hints, or actually in this case just one, no, a few. But the first things first you want to use is you want to use this update text function. That's number 1. Number 2 is you want to use the onKeyDown function or event within that element. So remember how we said a lot of elements have, onClick, onKeyDown, onMouseOver, all of those, onFocus, onBlur. You can use the onKeyDown function on this text area, right? And then all the other magic can go into here, right? The updating the formatting text and so forth. So try it out for yourself and then come back and we'll do it together. Let's take a look at what we do together. Now remember, right? So the first things first that I want to focus on is how do we go ahead and we get this text area as we are, changing the text here, okay? How do we call this function? If we look at index.html, remember how we said that an element has an onKeyDown function. OnKeyDown. It has an onClick, it has a lot of other ones, but we're going to use the onKeyDown. And so what this tells us is every time you click a button, it can fire something, or it can call a function. So in this case, we're going to call update text, just like so. Update text, just like that, update text. And so what it will do now is it will call this update text function, and our goal now will be to get something here. Console.log working. That's how I like to work. So working, and if we go ahead and we inspect If you look at the console now, if you look at the console now, if we refresh and we look at the console, and let's say we're typing something, it says working, right? So as we're typing, it is calling that function, which is great. It's exactly what we want to do. Next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to get that specific, the value from here, right? So let's, well, not here. So we're gonna go back to the code and let's text equals document dot get element by ID, and we're going to get the element that's the text input, right? And remember how a specific input has a value attribute to it, and this value attribute is going to be the value that's inside here. So we're grabbing this value attribute, and so we've got that. Okay, now what do? We want to change that value within the formatted text. That's pretty simple now. Remember, we've done it before. So we do document dot get element by ID text output, and again, I'm getting this text input text output by, because I know this has an ID text input, and this has an ID, where is it, text output, like so. Okay, so text, and with that one, we're going to do inner dot document dot inner text equals text, just like that. And let's see if that worked. We're going to refresh, and that didn't work, unfortunately. Document is not defined because we misspelled document. These misspellings really do get to you. Let's refresh again. There we go. You see, as we're typing, it is live updating all the text, and that's a pretty cool functionality. I'm not gonna lie, guys. So with that, we can mark this to do done. Voila. Let's move on to the next one.